Hey, you, friends, family, and strangers, welcome to the morning of our very last checkout of what has been an entire month of living in hotels and motels. The reason this is our very last morning checking out of the hotel motel experience, which has lasted. I looked last night to see officially how long it's been. It's lasted literally now a month. The reason why this is our very last checkout, our very last morning, and last night was our very last night, is because today marks what was supposed to be the closing date of the sale of my property. And if you want to see why that didn't work out, and if you want to see why I had this endless up and endless down, this endless obstacle to go through, leading to the ultimate failure of a mission, all you have to do is go back and watch any of the last videos over the last month. In other news, I am up. For the first time since I've been here, before the cutoff time for a continental breakfast. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get something to eat. And then we're going to start today's adventure. We have some moving back into my house task to complete this morning. And we have some budgetary things to review. We have some planning for some trips today to do. But for the most part, we're just going to try to stay warm because it is still a blundery, ugly mess out there. So, on that happy note, gather your things and let's do it.
You're a loser.
No biscuits and gravy. Pretty weak. Well, I had this last microwave dinner available, and since my continental breakfast was very lacking, I thought I would use that as an excuse to not pack this in my suitcase to leave and just eat it now. So I'm rocking this for breakfast number 2 and enjoying some Swedish fish. Very tasty, pretty good. But I don't think it's an energy drink I'll be buying it again, at least not on a regular basis. Because as your average garden variety drink that you can enjoy, like I do with Nos or Grape Nos, not quite cutting it. It's more like a novelty liquid candy experience, which is, has its place. Also, I wanted to tell you that I finished Trap last night. Kind of. I was trying so hard to watch it, but it got so stupid and cheesy, and I don't know, I found myself rolling my eyes more than anything, and eventually I just zoned completely out. It lost me. I think the movie, it's good if you want to sit down and cuddle with a chick and watch a dumb movie. But if you're sitting there watching it by yourself as a movie buff like me and somewhat of an expert, it's boring and stupid. Luckily, my do not disturb sign was being held together by some other guest's gross ass Band-Aid. Hopefully it wasn't gross when they used it. Hopefully it's new when it was applied. But yeah, let's get out of here. See ya. Okay-ish room. Not bad. Let's do this. Everything I need right here in one stack. Love it. Well, it is 10 a.m. right now on the morning of what was supposed to be the closing of the sale of my property. This would have been the time on this particular morning where I would be signing the papers. There is a reasonable chance that the buyer would have been there as well, or maybe later on today. I was led to believe that things would have happened earlier in the day so that I may receive $30,000 later on in that day around noon or 1 o'clock. However, as you know, probably the buyer sent a message through my realtor that they were only willing to pay 19 grand less than what they said they were going to pay. And I said, well, that just doesn't leave me with enough walking cash now, does it? And I told him every so often leading up to that day that I need to clear X amount in order to make this happen for me. And if you don't know already from when I reported on it a couple days ago, my realtor tried to pressure me into selling at their offensively low offer. And the only reason I'm offended by it is not because they find the land to be worth less than I do or whatever. It's just the fact that they already offered to pay what I asked. And legally that offer is still on the table until like 5 o'clock today, when the title office would be closed anyways. I'm not signing it. I highly doubt they're going to sign it. If I got a text right now that said, hey, can you go to the title office and sign everything? The buyer has agreed to your price as it was originally. Still wouldn't go out there and sign it. Still wouldn't sell my house. It's too late. I'm partially moved back in. My things are there. And I'm tired of the back and forth. Or should I say, I was completely tired of the back and forth 3 days ago when them backing out was presented to me. That was the last straw, which is good because even if it wasn't, that probably would have ended it permanently anyways, which I'm sure it did. What else? I'm trying to make a couple points here. Now would have been the time. But it's not. The only thing I have now for my realtor is, if you don't know from yesterday's video, he sent me a link to look at another property. It was a busted up, kind of a dingy looking trailer. I don't even know the plot size. I don't know if it's a deal to buy just the trailer but rent the lot that it's on, which would never happen. I I can't even wrap my head around that concept. I'm going to own a trailer and rent the lot that it's on. My mother did that, I think, and she ended up having her trailer moved to her own land, and she's been there now many years, and she's did a lot of updates and expansions onto her trailer home, and she took out like a bedroom to make her living room humongous, and it looks fantastic. But I don't want to go through all that. It's that simple. Not interested. I'm not against renting a nice bougie apartment on the 3rd level with cathedral ceilings and a balcony overlooking something other than a parking lot would be nice. I want 2 bath, 2 bedroom, balcony on the 3rd floor. That's what I want, with a garage to go with it somewhere on the property. And I want to be within walking distance of places that I want to walk to and eat and shop. And generally speaking, I want to be close enough to work where it's worth it for me as well. And I want to pay the same or less than I currently do for my mortgage. That's what I want. Partially because it's on my mind and I want to execute that goal, and partially for all the other reasons I want the place. The biggest reason I want the place is because rather than create all that magic at my own house, I'd rather just sign a lease and get all those amenities immediately as soon as I get my keys. And I want maintenance-free, repair-free lifestyle at home. Some people want that. Some people have that, and then they look for property and they change. And I'm not against that in the future, but I doubt it'll be in Ohio. But for now, while I'm still in Ohio, it may very well be me in an apartment. And the things I like, the things I don't like about an apartment, I think I'm cool with. And other things that I didn't like about an apartment aren't even a factor anymore. So, what are you gonna do? But anyways, this would have been the moment right now as I speak where I should have been signing my house away to that buyer, but the price that the lowball price they gave, offensively thinking that they decide the cost of my home and not me, and flat out lying about the offer they made on paper anyways, that ain't gonna work. That doesn't work for a jibway. So I'm good on that, and mostly because, not just because I'm offended by it, but mostly it's because I need a place to stay. I think, if shit hits the fan, so to speak, I'm living in my van in a public parking space, and I'll be doing just fine. I mean, my license doesn't expire until 2027, and if it does and I'm still going rogue and I'm still in Ohio or whatever, I would just use someone else's address, someone that I know. What are you gonna do? The address is only for a tax paper. Your physical address is just so the government can make you pay school tax somewhere. That's all it is. So pick anyone you want. Just make sure whoever does live there is cool with verifying to the sheriff that you do, in fact, have residency there. Even if you've never stepped foot on the property, it's not illegal to be a resident of a place you've never been. You can get mail there, you can pay school district tax there, you can visit, but you don't have to live there, you don't have to visit, and you really can not live anywhere if you don't want and still have a driver's license. But you can't use a P.O. box on your driver's license, and you can't use the physical address of the post office on your driver's license. That doesn't work. I wish it did, but I've researched it. I've contacted the DMV, and asked that question, and the answer they gave me after putting me through to this manager and that manager, this higher up and that higher up, because they've never had that question before, reasonably so, is you would need to contact a homeless shelter, find a rep at the homeless shelter that's going to give you a very specific tax form that allows you to claim that physical address as yours. Depending on the place, I don't know if you need to maintain a bed there or not, but I'm assuming that if you explain to them you are happy to live in your car, then, or your van, then you can just get the tax form for that reason. And there may be a specific form for that specific situation where you do not physically stay there, but you do not have a place to go. That makes sense. I'm getting waved over here by these utility workers, so I got to be careful not to hit anyone's mailbox through this tight squeeze here. Now, whether you have to maintain a bed or not could get interesting at the homeless shelter I'm referring to, because most homeless shelter programs will verify whether you have income or not. And basically they'll say, potentially, I don't know, but they could potentially say, well, because you have a set level of income, you can afford a place. But if you can't get a place because you have a broken lease or bad credit, then you are just kind of stuck in this societal loophole where you can't catch a break, you can't fit in, and you're screwed because there is no provision socially or legally for your unique situation in that case. And you may be screwed. You may just have to not have a license, I guess. Not have a driver's license. You will literally need to find a way to make money and build yourself back up to get a physical address somewhere so you can reapply for your license, because a lot of DMVs will make you prove you live there by showing what appears to be an actual piece of mail, a correspondence, and that's usually a utility bill. And I promise you, if they're suspicious of you, then they may try to verify that with whatever utility company. I don't know. So it's what they call in the business a catch-22. What I call it is total bullshit. You should not have to have a physical address to be a licensed driver in any state in America. You just shouldn't, because it's bullshit. It's stupid. And the reason they don't do that is because they don't want people to catch on and claim that they live nowhere to avoid paying school taxes. So because they want school taxes to be paid, K through 12 is irrelevant, by the way, because of the internet and tons and tons and tons of educational programs that can be accessed through any type of schooling you can imagine on any type of level, or tutoring, or any type of online classes. The K through 12 public school is stupid. It's bullshit. You can learn anything you want at any time you want, and I don't believe a child should have to learn jack shit if they don't feel like it. You don't retain anything until you're ready to learn. And these educators will ignore that because it's their job, it's their taxes, and everything depends on them pushing that propaganda, that false narrative that kids must leave their home at 5 years old and be put into the custody of a teacher, this stranger who's not involved with their family on any level. Schools are fucking dangerous as shit. They're so dangerous. Your child is at great risk of being hurt or killed at school. It is insane, the system. But anyways, that is way down a rabbit hole. I apologize. You get my point. But I do have a physical address because I drew a hard line in the sand and told my realtor to go fuck himself. I'm not tolerating his bullying, his heavy-handed pressure he's trying to put on me to accept such a low offer. It's like this was a scheme with him and the buyer from the jump. There's a reason he didn't require a deposit from this buyer. There's a reason that he led me to believe the deal was fine, so I would continue down the road and I guess get excited about a deal with an apartment or a deal with a potential other property, or maybe he thought I would get excited that the house would sell, so I would lock in a deal with a family member to live there, or whatever the case. But he definitely wasn't expecting me to be telling the truth when I said I'm not accepting any type of extension on the date, and I'm not accepting any other price for the property. It is what I have said, primarily because otherwise I would not have a place to live, and I'm not going to put myself in that situation again. And I got heat for the video I posted where I said I could be homeless in 3 days, and that's because I put myself in that situation. I don't know why people felt it necessary to let me know that it was my fault when I was literally saying it was my fault the whole time. But whatever helps you sleep at night, bring it. I'm all for your free speech. Even if it requires hatred toward me for you to feel good, then do it. If that's what it takes. I was saying it was my fault from day one. I took action and had to set hard lines in the sand to alleviate that problem that I made for myself. And it worked. Now I have a place to live. Okay? We cool? I love you. I'm sorry. I don't mean to make my problems yours or anything like that. I was just trying to explain it. Because, I don't know. I guess on one hand it doesn't matter, but on the other hand, if you really look into it, it is a little tricky. So I was just trying to untrick the tricky, that's all. We're home. In this big, empty, ugly house. I don't know. Mixed feelings, that's for sure. I definitely feel like this is a moment of a fresh, brand new start. Yesterday coming here was just here to put some things in place, then to go back and finish up this hotel motel experience that lasted a month. This morning is a whole different ballgame. We're back. I'd like to go through the driveway and some of the yard that's not flooded, and I'd like to go through the house briefly and talk about updates that I'd like to make. And you're going to hear about little updates, not big ones that are coming later on. I want to talk to you about things that I want to put in place and change, not temporarily, but sooner than later. Smaller projects, and then as far as the bigger projects that I have in mind for this place, that may never happen because I may be long gone by then, or if they do, it'll be way down the road. Okay, let's take a little look together. Someone has finally discovered their buffet, as made evident by the cracked open seeds everywhere and all the shells on the ground. I don't know if someone found their treat. Anytime I have leftover chips or bread, I put it right here on the front porch. It's probably not wise to feed raccoons, but I'm a sucker. I got a soft spot for the critters. If you're going to throw it out, I mean, it's going to a critter at a landfill. But there's critters right here that live under your own porch that want a little treat too. I'm going to go check the mail real quick, and I'm going to take a picture of this fog. Here is the top of the well that was somewhere right there, I think. I don't see any other spot where it was dug up. But yeah, you see how there's all that standing water? That's because there's not really reliable drainage on this parcel of land. Now, it does a lot better on an average rain day, but lately we've had flooding. And that's probably why all this fog is over there across the field, across the road, because the ground is just completely soaked right now like a giant sponge. But anyways, on a normal day, because of all the drain tile they installed across the road, I normally do good over here. It didn't used to be that way. It used to always look like this, no matter what. It could sprinkle, and it would look like this, no matter what. The water table on this parcel was literally about 5 inches below the grass line. No exaggeration at all. Now it's several feet down. And but because of how high the water table used to be, I could never find this. I had to put my house on the market in order to get this discovered, basically. And I spent a lot of time making calls, looking up records, trying to figure out where this was. I even rented an excavator to try to find this, and still couldn't find it. So yeah, you tell me. Look at all that fog. I can barely see the preview, so because it's too bright out here. But hopefully you can see the field and the fog. All I got to say is nobody, and I mean fucking nobody, has a better view of the city than me. Well, the vultures come out at night. That house goes up on a MLM, a multi-listing service, MLS. Anyways, my house went on the market, probably still is, and the vultures come out. Just got a fresh new offer on the house in the mail. It's probably going to end up being a lowball ass offer, just like the one that was faked and then later revealed what the true price would be, the true price they're willing to pay. Because at first, as you know, I may have mentioned this in anger, they did pretend they were going to pay a certain price and then later revealed their true intentions after, when it was too late actually. Dear Douglas, I'm interested in buying your home. I can pay you cash for your house as is. You don't have to repair it or even clean it up. You'll pay me no commission and I can pay typical closing costs. There's no obligation, so call me if you're interested in a hassle-free cash sale. Sincerely, Home Vestors of Central Ohio. No one has discovered my water tower. Not a squirrel, not a bird, not a raccoon, not shit. I don't think the raccoons would eat the bird seed anyways, but you know what I mean, eh? And when they do, it will be a hot spot of activity. When this is discovered and one bird sees another bird and they become a habit of checking it, which they will, then I will have to fill this up every single day to keep it full or to keep any seed in it at all. And that probably is not going to be something I can afford to do. To fill that up every day is like what? $4 a day? Maybe an $8 bag of bird seed. And I would have to buy like 3 a week just to keep that full. Just this one, not the one on the front porch, but this one. Yeah. But if I fill it up like once a week, period, they'll be checking on it every day. And when the day comes, they see me out here filling it up, they will come in. Trust me, I've seen it many times. I would like to build out this front porch, make it about twice as deep, and do it patio style, or rather wood deck style. Get rid of this slab thing, whatever this is. Let's talk about other little updates that I want to do. I want to get rid of this ugly drooping ceiling fan and replace it with a light that is a lot closer to the ceiling. I don't want a fan in here at all. I want to get rid of this. There used to be like a strand of lights up through there that was here from the previous owner. I want to get rid of that and get new, whatever that's called, a new trim up against the ceiling. And just little things like replace this ugly light in here. Bada bing, bada boom. I want to build full length shelves all the way down and up instead of just these half deep shelves. I want to put ones that start out here and go all the way back and the whole up and down. And then probably like an accordion door or something, maybe not even a door here, and get rid of this and stuff. Yeah, you feel me? And that's about it as far as the little things go, I believe. Bigger projects, I want to do the floor in here and make it like a, for some reason I really want on this room and this room both to have that, it's like, not linoleum, but it's like stone, thin brick tile. I don't even know what it's called yet, but, and little things like this I'm going to fix, obviously. And I don't know if this will stay an actual doorway or just become like a walkway. Yeah, big repairs in the future. This will be a wall. There will be a pedestal bathtub right here. This wall will not be there. It'll lead into this other part of what will become the same bathroom. A toilet will be right there in this space. And on the other side of this space will be a stand-up shower right here. So a stand-up shower right here, a poop nook. This wall will not even be here. You'll just be able to walk right in to that other area where there will be a delicious double vanity sink right there along that wall, and then a pedestal bathtub right here. This door and this door will not exist. That'll just be a wall. That's kind of like what I want to do with this bedroom. This stuff will be gone. This will be cleaned up to make it look pretty again. And I'd like to keep this closet right there where it is, so you'll actually kind of like walk around that. I just think it'll look cool and OG right there. So, not much I'm doing with this room except painting. I want to get back to what I tried to do with the painting a long time ago. A project I kind of scrapped, and I want to resume. A lot of things to do to this old house, that's for sure. And the first thing I need to do is move my shit back into it. But like I said, I'm not going to do a whole lot because at the moment, I am still apartment minded. I still want to be done with the place. I kind of feel guilty for saying that because this house has always been here for me. Despite all the problems it gave me, it's like a bad marriage, but there is love there. Where it's toxic, the relationship needs to expire, but it's hard to walk away because there is a history and there is a bias. And it's cheaper to keep her right now. That's for damn sure. One of the things I would like to do is completely remove this furnace and this wall. Because this, on the other side of this wall, is my utility room where there is my washer, dryer, and my pressure tank for the water, my water softener. It's this room right here. So I would like to remove that wall and have this one complete walk-through space. I don't know why, I just think it'll look cool. I think it'll look more cleaned up. Redo the floor. There's a lot of patching up job. I want to remove that door altogether right there. Make it a solid wall. That leads into my office, and it doesn't need to. I never use it. Not interested in that whatsoever. I want to just make the house look a lot cleaner, and I guess you could say more up to date. I hate these drop down ceilings as well. In the future, I would love to get rid of those and completely reinvent how everything looks in here, basically. One thing I wanted to do, I don't know if it'll ever happen, but if I had it my way and I was staying here, I would build. This wall wouldn't be here, and at this space, there would be a full length 3 steps that go up into another big front room. And there would be a whole additional house built attached. An entire assed 2-story partial basement house built right here. And this wall would not even be here. This old living room, this old front room would be just a way to access the other part of the house, the original part of the house. And there would just be steps right here. This would all flow as one giant room. And I think it would look cool as hell. So that'll step up onto the level of the new addition. But this room, I want to knock out this wall as well and have this floor go at the same level, double the width of this room out into the new house. But that will make it to where this room has no outside windows. So that may be the case. And that's fine with me. I think it'll just add to the uniqueness of the 2 houses merging together as one. And trust me, if I had the money to straight up blow, I would continue expansion by putting a wall right here, all the way across. And what that would do is that would create an extended hallway. See this hallway? The hallway would just keep going right out here. There would be a wall here. This would be a bedroom, whatever. And there would be an opening here, and it would lead into pretty much like a double wide trailer looking attachment that would go that way toward the back of the property. So you would step into another hallway that would turn. This would tee off into another hallway that would go that way. Right? Now, I highly doubt that'll happen. I also doubt the first expansion will happen. But the first expansion is a lot more likely than the second one. But the small updates that I talked about, yeah, those are happening probably before I move out into my apartment, etc., etc. It's kind of weird to come back and talk about the house because when I started doing a daily video and had decided at that point to get rid of the apartment I was in, which I wish now I would have just kept, obviously, my thinking was I'm just going to get rid of this apartment, move back into my house full time, and my house will become a large chunk of what I make content about. The other chunk will be traveling. I want to get back on the road. I want to do because basically over the years of D-Nation, I would take a little vacation once in a while, and I really enjoyed showing a new place that I was at and a new thing that I was doing, like the Bass Pro Pyramid in Memphis, or just the trip to get out to Memphis was fun. Then I went to Florida from there, but I didn't want to do anything in Florida but swim in the ocean, in the Gulf of Mexico. So I didn't film anything down there, but that would have been a good spot to go and do something every day, like they got cool all-natural spring water parks down there where I was in Florida. And what else? Museums in the area. All that should have been filmed. So it's like my whole thinking of where I want to take the channels has changed, which kind of made me want to get rid of that apartment and come back here and start afresh. But yeah, time keeps on ticking, whether I keep changing my mind every 5 minutes or not. But anyways, this is another new start at a same familiar place. Part of me half expects the would-be buyer to show up here and let themselves in and then be like, oh, hey, what are you doing? Finishing up your move? And for me to go, I'm not moving. because you didn't buy the place, because I'm not signing that offer. That's not going to happen, because the title company would not draft new documents with a lower amount like that, because I've asked them not to. But I almost half expected at this point, with everything that's went wrong and with stuff happening behind my back. And every time I hear something, I kind of look around out here real quick. I guess I'm just overthinking. But that reminds me when I stayed up all night long to get this house ready for a showing that I wasn't allowed to know got canceled. For a showing that I wasn't allowed to know never actually got scheduled, perhaps. For a showing that was told to me would happen, but in reality was never going to happen. And of course, I wasn't allowed to be let in on the big secret. That was the first example of many for my realtor, of my schedule, my life being completely disregarded. The house is 40 degrees. Luckily, this was in one of the boxes that was still in the van and never made it to the storage unit. So that box ended up back here at the house first. I have it set to 70 and I closed the door in this empty office. So hopefully my toes will stop stinging soon. It's taking all my strength not to start applying for apartments, but I have to not do that. I don't think I can yet until after June. So, but I'm not like accepting that reality. It's really hard for me to fully move back in or to think about doing that. Although I will be gradually, probably a lot slower than last time because I want to move back out already. Yeah. I don't know. I'll probably end up setting a budget that will make each paycheck leading up to this income gap a lot smaller. That way it covers that income gap. And then from that, see if I can pay rent. And if I can, I'm probably the fuck out of here. So right now there's a 50-50 chance. I'm only setting up a couple things here at this house, and within the month or two, I'll be moving out again into an apartment. We'll see. We'll see how they like my bad credit and crap. And speaking of that, I will probably put my credit repairing journey right here on The Nation, like every other cringy thing we talk about with me. My credit is shot, not because I have a credit card or late car notes and all that. It's the fact that I have often been late on this mortgage, sometimes on purpose, because I needed to use it as a way to free up money for other things at the time. Yeah.
My name is Shane with Healthcare Solutions. How are you today?
This is who, I'm sorry?
This is about your Medicare benefits.
Yeah, but I said this is who, I'm sorry? I was asking your name.
You're not missing any benefits.
Oh, okay, well then fuck your mother. The water tower has officially been discovered. That is a pretty bird. It looks like a finch that's going to change colors to look like a normal one, but maybe not. Maybe it's going to turn all red. Just eating seed under the water tower. I should clean this window for future bird observations. Someone was screwing with my dryer. I don't know if that was the person pretending to be the buyer or if that was the home inspector or what, but it was never on the paperwork that this would be included. Not that it wouldn't be included. I was going to leave it here. That's why it was here. but it was never on the paperwork that it was to be included. So why was it being tested to see if it ran? And I don't know. I just thought I would share that because it just made me laugh. Like, what was going on here when this house was up for grabs, really? And if it was the inspector, what does he do? Just test everything he sees and ignores nothing, regardless of what the actual sales contract says? Because the sales contract will say what stays and what goes still. Like, normally someone leaves their stove and their refrigerator, but commonly someone does take their washer and dryer. And if it was the person pretending to be the buyer, the person who made the offer, even though they weren't sincere about that offer, then I don't know. I just don't get it. Just weird. You are not going to believe this. Let me rephrase. Pardon my German. You're not going to fucking believe this. So, do you remember how today would have been my closing day, but I turned it down because they offered me less, and I can't accept less right now because I needed 12 months to get my keys, 12 months worth of rent up front to get my fucking keys. Did you know that I could have accepted less? Because I actually only need 3 or 6 months rent up front and still could have got in the door and then signed a new lease from there. Did you know that? It doesn't matter at this place I'm trying to live. It doesn't matter your credit. It doesn't matter if you're attached to any mortgage or whatever. If you can clear 3 months up front, you can live there. And I even said, and after 3 months, I can sign a new lease and I can still keep my fucking place, right? You're not gonna schedule me to get the fuck out of there in that time, right? I'm already in the door. And she said, yeah, you can renew and stay. 3 months is all I would have needed. I told her, I was trying to be nice, but I wanted her to know, if you'd have told me that, I would have sold my house and cleared my mortgage and got keys and would have cleared June. At least when I'm not working in June, I could have cleared that as well. And I would have been just fucking fine. But that didn't happen. So with this new information, what do we do with this new info? I'm going to come up with the 3 months on my own, separate from selling the house, even if it takes another month or two. I'm going to reapply for the shit. And that just makes me so excited because now I don't have to wait nearly as long as I thought. I can come up with the dough now just by like eating ramen noodles for a couple months and I'm good. Ramen noodles. Fucking crazy townness, dude. I hate it so much. Why does life have to eat ass so hard right now? So yeah, I would have been good had I known that. And the reason I wanted to explain to that chick that I could have got in on 3 months had she told me, and I would have sold my house and my life would be... Today would have been so much different on so many levels had I known that. I would have went for that like nothing. Babe, what are you doing to me? So do I call my fuckhead back and be like, hey, that buyer that wants to adjust the price, I figured out a way to sell the house on their terms. And then take my money and get my apartment and at 3 months or 6 months now? It sounds good. I'm nervous to do it, but it sounds doable. You know what also sounds doable? Coming up with the money now on my end and working it that way, then selling the house after. And then like whatever I make on the house, Whatever I make on the house, I don't know. Maybe it's a sign to go to that other place I looked at. Maybe I should just say, fuck them. Whatever I make on the house, signing like another, I could do like almost the whole year, or just put the money in like a separate rent account and then have it auto draft out of there so I still don't have to worry about paying the rent for like another fucking 9 months from there. Can you believe that shit? Like, every day I say I can't make this up even if I tried. There's no reason to write a show. All you got to do is just like be honest about your real life, and it works. This is it. I didn't have to move back into my house. I didn't have to change the locks. I didn't have to decline that low offer. That offer would have cleared my mortgage and gave me 3 months for the apartment, but I didn't know I could move in at 3 months or 6 months. I knew that she mentioned that, but it didn't click to ask, because she kept telling me, you are this way or no way. So that's what I had in mind. And I don't think she meant to do something wrong. And I think it helped her for the next person for me to explain to her, motherfucker, I could have got in there if you'd have told me that and made that clear. She did mention that there are 3 month and 6 month rates. And then we talked about something else. And then it went right on to, well, what do you want to do? I said, well, I'm going to sign a lease. I can't do 15 months, but I can I know I can do a year and everything. And she's like, well, in your case, you'll need the full year up front. So we just stuck to that narrative. I never thought to go back and be like, well, what was this 3 month thing? What was this 6 month thing? I could have got in on 3 months. Period. Which is, why would you rent someone an apartment if they don't qualify for a month-to-month lease where they pay monthly because their name's attached to a mortgage? Why would you only rent them an apartment for 3 months? Is it because that's a person who only needs a place to live for 3 months because their house is being remodeled? I don't know, but it's starting to drive me nutcakes. So basically, in a month from now, or 2 more weeks, 3 or 4 weeks tops, so it's either like 2-3 weeks or a month from now, I'll figure it out and here in a minute, I'll have the 3 months that they need. Bada bing, bada boom. And I'll be good. Is it a mistake? Should I just stay here at the house? It's quiet. There's no neighbors slamming on my walls or anything. The bastards. Fuck my tits. That is crazy. I'm already doing it, guys. I'm well on track to having the 3 months rent up front to sign the 3 months, get me in the door lease at this place. Isn't that cool? I mean, I'm on my way to work and I skipped the grease window food, like, Wendy's, Mickey D's, Burger King's. I skipped it. Just saved my first $20 toward the effort, baby. My car needs an oil change. Fuck it, just let it blow up. Thought about selling this bitch. Sold off some stocks already. As I was driving just now, literally. Not quite enough, but you know what I mean. So anyways, hope I'm not acting rash. I mean, I have a rash, but I hope I'm not acting rash. You know what I mean? Your Bible says haste makes mistakes. And one mistake I made was selling my house before I can guarantee the roof over my head otherwise. So far, I'm not doing that, but I'm fucking feeling like maybe I should just fucking do it. You know what I mean? Fuck! Just kidding. But I feel like I the temptation is there. Hardcore. Hardcore is a mofoer. You know. Yeah. And I can understand why people get into that trap the way I did. Because, hey, quick money. But it's not quick in my case. It fucking took forever. But at least it's like the guaranteed amount you'll need, right? Fuck it. Sell the place. Then I can parlay that money into the next adventure. So the temptation is there. I get it. I get it more than I ever wanted to get it. That's for sure. Whew. I don't want to... Not knowing exactly how, like, my next rental application will go as far as my credit, my broken lease, my name still being attached to a mortgage, technically. It's, I can't just go for it like I want to because of that. So, it's going to take longer, but these freaking idiots are walking their dogs out on the roadway. Idiots. That's how your dog gets hit. And that's how your dog becomes comfortable with the road and is going to get hit as soon as it gets the chance to go wander on the roadway because you walked it out on the roadway all those different times. Anyway, I don't know what to do. I want to come up with the money now. I want to reapply, see what happens. At this particular place, it shouldn't matter how my app goes because we can just say I can come up with the first 3 months. So, you know, what are you going to do? I'm going to try to come up with this money without selling the house. And as soon as I do, I'll sell my house. And then I'll be good. Right? Yeah, we'll see. We have hella flooding from all that rain we got. Look at all that. And I just crossed a river and it was more like crossing a lake. I didn't even know if the road on the other side of the bridge was out of water or not. It was sketchy. Coming up with that 3 months rent in the condition I'm in right now, there are like 10, 15 different ways to do it when it comes to asking for another earnest deposit, just selling the house and risking it, and asking a friend or family member for a loan, and there's other ways to do it. I've already come up with a large chunk of the money anyways. I've explored some options that I already have, stress-free options, and I did those already, and will tomorrow as well. Finalize those transactions. So that there's the other chunk. One thing that'll really help is to continue to not pay my mortgage. So, but there's risk with that as well. But flipping that risk over and catching the loan completely up in one transaction is quick and easy to do. And this bus is stopped and nothing's going on. Okay, they're moving again. So there's like 10 ways to do this, but all of them involve certain risk levels. They're all plausible, they're all doable, but they all involve risk. And at this particular moment, I'm not sure if it's worth as much risk as I am thinking I might take. So we're probably going to go the medium steady method. Not slow and steady. We're probably going to go medium steady. That is where we go slow and steady, but we try to hardball it, balls to the wallet, Dragon Ball Z to the wallet until we reach our goal ASAP. AF&P, because another element of this is the quicker we're done, the quicker so many problems goes away. The only problem I'll have with renting is that I owe rent every month, and if something happens, I could lose my place. Some say there's no way that's worth it, and I'm pretty much one of them, but if you knew all the ins and outs of the crap I deal with on my daily living basis, you might be like, you know what? Go ahead for now. Get you a place, rent it on up, make that landlord even richer, and then do you and figure you out from there. As my friend said, how nice would it be to start living instead of merely surviving? And I think one of the things I can do while living instead of surviving is come up with better plans moving forward for my own future. You got me? And it would be really nice to stop showering out of a bucket in the meantime. Yeah. So what's the plan? The plan, other than driving to work and getting some stuff out of storage, is to the plan is to pretty much only pay what I have to pay, like gas and ramen noodles, and save the rest, get this place, re-budget for June, and go from there. I don't want to get the place at the beginning of June with no money left, because then I can't even pay like my utility bills through June. You heard? But I am considering, straight up, just so we're clear, I am considering getting a full blowed-ass part-time job. And I already know where I want to apply. And I already know how close it is to where the new apartment should be. Yaka yaka. Yaka yaka yaka. So, to get what you want, you gotta, life's a two-way street. To get what you want, you gotta make sacrifices. Especially if you know once it's done, it's gonna open up a whole new level of potential, right? Okay, you got me. If not, oh well, fuck it. And when I say save as much as possible, like I'm literally considering not eating, because I just want to get this shit done. But I don't want to do it with the risk level I did that you just saw last time, where I can't even fucking fall asleep at night because I'm stressed to the max. I'd rather have trouble falling asleep at night because I'm hungry as shit. But the payoff is I know once it's done, then I don't have to worry about it no more forever, and I can totally rebuild from there. I can build every aspect of my life from there, financially, investment-wise, the whole kit, cat, and fucking boodle. So, shitski. In the meantime, I want to hit up the old storage unit. I need to grab some water jugs. I need to fill up those water jugs. And I need to grab some space heaters again. And probably my TV, my like computer monitor, my like 32-inch bad boy. And what else? Oh yeah, my blankies, my sleeping bag, my bed sheet. Ah, that would be so nice, wouldn't it? And I need to try to accomplish all that in the next 35 minutes. By the way, that house I was trying to buy on this half-acre lot is right here, where that real estate sign is out front. That would have been my house. That would have been my garage right there with the 2 doors. And it's still not sold. There's still a sign in the yard. They could have got it sold if they would have let me finance half and pay the other half up front. I mean, what did they have to lose? If I crapped out, they'd have still kept the property and the money. But nope, they want to make zero money and have it still there. I had a feeling I was the only one who was interested in it, because it is a dump that I was willing to put some love into, but whatever. I guess I'll go down the road and get my apartment instead. And just like that, my friends, through the power of movie magic, it's already dark outside. Tonight at work, of course, I was thinking obsessively about getting this apartment locked in. Now with the new method, a method I wish I would have known about, or would have been reminded of, I guess, or caught on to or noticed. But for some reason, all the times I mentioned that I'm gonna have, may only be able to clear whatever, may not make the full 12 months or whatever, but hoping for the best on the house sale, blah blah blah. That lady never once suggested, we have the 3-month and the 6-month option, right? So anyways, tonight at work, of course, I was obsessively thinking about this, how to come up with 3 months worth of rent money on my own so I can just get it done, get my keys. The sooner the better. The sooner I do that, the sooner I can get in, set up a new budget, plan for June, possibly get a second job through June, whatever the case may be. Step 1 definitely has to be get this 3 months worth of money saved up and ready to rock. I already got like a third of it. Or close to half, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to gauge. It's hard to do the gaugements. There is a helpful, friendly sheriff's deputy over there, laying in wait. But anyways, friends, I thought, well, first thing I'll have to do is pretty much not spend another dime between now and my target. Yeah, that's gonna be rough. Like I said, I will literally severely cut down my food intake if need be. At least that's the plan now. Someone at work told me, just wait, you'll become a ravenous monster if you're used to eating good. And I am used to eating good. Tonight at work, I didn't spend a dime. I didn't do my usual thing at work where I buy an energy drink or buy a lunch in our cafe. Actually, I did the opposite of spend money today at work. I requested overtime, and just that easily, at the simple request, at the simple mentioning of a desire, a formal verbal request, I was able to lock in on the spot, damn near an extra half hour a night, time and a half. So that will add up. It is a drop in the bucket, but at the moment I need as many drops as quickly as possible. I'm going to look at my budget again tomorrow and everything. Of course, I need to try to eliminate at least 2 of these storage units, AS, AF, and P. Yeah, I don't want to take everything out of both storage units, or I don't want to get my van back home and stop paying for that. And then also the other 2, I don't need all 3 of them emptied out and back to home, because I don't want to move all my stuff back into my house, because I still want and will need a storage unit to move stuff into the apartment. And that'll also be a place to stop and visit every other day or so, in and around working hours, sort out my crap, figure out what I'm getting rid of, selling, etc., etc. There's a very decent chance by the time I get this done and basically, what I'm trying to say is I want to get myself moved in before. I want to get myself moved in and my house sold before the motherfucker forecloses. Because after I do move in, then I have to deal with June, and which is a month where I'm not going to have income. So I don't know what I can do as far as keeping the mortgage afloat until the property sells. I do know that I'm not going to let it sell right now without guaranteed housing like I did last time, like you just watched over the last 20 days or so. The original idea was to sell my home contingent on the purchase of another home. Basically, I could not get the other home I wanted, the one I showed you today actually, because I was actually going to walk with a lot less than the mortgage company really let me know about. There was a literal hidden balloon payment that I knew was there, but I thought would have reflected in the payoff amount. It actually did not. Their payoff amount did not include that balloon payment. That's something my realtor found out through putting in, I don't know what the fuck you send off for, or what you plug into, or file, or what. Then he called me and said, you have that balloon payment attached into your mortgage. That's going to significantly lower what you can spend on another place. So we shifted from, well, let's try to get this house. I'll pay half and then try to do seller finance for the other half. The seller wanted nothing to do with that, which I believe was dumb because the house is still sitting there unsold. They could have had at least half with the other half on the way, and they would have had nothing to lose, because if I fucked up, then they get to keep the money. But instead, they decided to take zero money. The house is still sitting there, empty, lifeless, buyerless, blah, blah, frippin', blah. But I am telling a guy at work about it. He needs to get over there and get it before someone else does, because he wants such a property that he can be worked on, something close to work, something that has a potential future. So that happened. Then I foolishly, at the time, said, you know what? Let's keep the house on the market. Let's go ahead and sell my house, because I had just stopped at the We Old Apartments, the brand new, what should be my brand new apartment, hopefully soon, and was told, you know, because you're attached to this mortgage, we can still get you in if you pay for a year up front. And I said, well, I can do that because my house is going to sell soon. Didn't realize I would have two buyers back out on me. And shit. The second buyer wanted to just pay significantly less. So I got hit with a balloon payment that I didn't know about. Then I got hit with this other loss that would have sent me walking with not enough to cover the year. Didn't even find out that I had a whole ass other option. I could have just done 3 months to get in, then had plenty of money left over from the sale to get me through June, and then could have just renewed my lease from there. Yikes. Didn't even find out about that until the day of what would have been the closing that went awry. Insane. Like I say, I can't make this stuff up. Like I said, there's no point in writing a script. What actually happens to me is nuttier than crap I can think of. I'd like to think that's not true, but it probably is. What's actually happening to me is crazier than some story I can fabricate. So I'm like, well, at least one good thing. I'll get the 3 months rent together, then reapply, hope for the best, because I still have that broken lease on my record, and shit credit, and I'm still attached to that mortgage, blah, blah, blah. But what she said is what she said. If you can pay for your lease in full, Even if I get a 3-month lease? She said, yeah. And I said, and I can renew from there and do month to month and do like a year or 15-month lease? And she said, yeah. It seems like that would make the other rules not even necessary. It's so easy to get around them. So I thought, instead of put myself out there again where my house could sell from underneath me and I may not even have a backup place to live yet, instead of relying on a shit motel to get me through until hopefully something happens, I ain't doing that again. I'd rather live in a house with no heat and no water than to be next to those psychopath neighbors, asinine pieces of garbage that made my stay at that hotel absolute hell. Hotel from hell. A friend of mine was near there at the wee old Culver's restaurant where we did a taste test, if you recall. My water bottle's falling over. 1 second. And she said to her friend, that's where Doug's staying right now. And then my other coworker said, no, he's upgraded to the Home 2 Suites of Dublin. So that happened. And I'm pretty sure there's a cop behind me. Might get a little froggy, so let me go ahead and hit the pauser for 2 seconds. Anyways, the cop's on my ass, then he backs off, then he's on my ass, then he backs off. So fuck him. My friend said, no, he upgraded to the Home 2 Suites of Dublin. We just missed him. And I'm like, yeah, trust me, that motel was insanity. What a bad place to lodge up, if you want to call it that. Anyways, like you were saying, tonight at work, though, other than that stuff, I was primarily thinking about coming up with this 3 months rent on my own. That way I can guarantee to have a roof over my head. I don't have to put too much on my plate at once and kind of take the risk of not having housing potentially. Yeah. So that was like my next thing. That's my next bullshit thing that I'm trying, and the next set of drama that I'm bringing all my peers into. But I'm trying to figure out how to do it, basically. Basically, I figured the best way, most effective way, quickest way, potentially, and less long-term damage. Basically, trying to figure out how to do it basically trying to figure out how to avoid owing anyone money or getting anyone too involved with my housing dilemma. That way they don't have to fuck with it, and I don't have to fuck with them being up my ass about stuff, or the worst, that would be owing them money, and if something were to happen, I can't get it back to them. So I just try not to do that right now, just in case type deal ski. But the best way to do it, I guess, would be to just not spend any money until I can cover the 3 months, and then go from there and try to resume a normal budget from there. So I really, really, really need to remember to get online and request a extension for doing my taxes, so I can file it later this year when I am more set up and have the money to pay to get my tax prepared and all that fun shit. And I'm most likely going to owe money, which I'll just get on the IRS website and set up a payment plan again, most likely. Or if I've sold my house, then I will gladly cover it. But with this new stuff and me not touching my money unless it is ready to go for the apartment, with me basically like willing to let everything go except for my car insurance and my cell phone service, Like, literally thinking about just letting the internet fall behind. Like, everything's getting stopped. Mortgage, internet payment, electricity. Considering getting pretty nuts because you don't know how bad I just want to get this over with. I am so beyond fucking tired of screwing around with this crap. I'm done. This got old 6 years ago when I first bought the house. The ups and downs of trying to fix things and spending all day Saturdays in the yard mowing and weed eating and spending $40 a bottle every 2 weeks to just to spray around the house to keep the shit from, driving me mad. I was trying to explain it today, like, I've been there, done that. I think at the stage I'm at life right now where I don't really give a fuck about all that. The reasons I bought my property don't even exist anymore. Those reasons aren't even in my mind anymore. I wanted somewhere where I can I guess you could say express myself. I want to be able to make some noise, run some wood saws in my garage, build some shit. Now I don't even give a fuck about that. Been there, done that. The house was too much of a hassle for my budget. Plus, I still think I have potential to, let my investments rock out. Let those investments start paying me back handsomely. That's all still set up. It's all still going to happen. So it's like, if you're convinced that you're getting ready to be set free, it makes your time as a prisoner of this stuff a little bit easier and a little more like self-motivating. Well, I'll get there. I know it's going to happen type mentality. So, I don't know. Maybe that's bad because maybe that means I don't push as hard as I need to in the meantime. But speaking of that, like I said, I think pretty much the best way to reach that goal financially is to just not spend any money. And shit, it'll make good content when I don't have anything but car insurance and cell phone service, because I have to use my cell phone service to upload a video, and I will need it to text and call about the apartment and whatnot, to check email and DocuSign potentially for the house and all that fun shite. And then I feel like once I just get my keys, move in, reassess my budget from there, I'll be fine, all things considered. No income in June, paying for taxes that I still need to do. Last year's taxes needs to be filed. Oh, shit. The only other mandatory thing I should probably do is like put gas in my car and get an oil change. So that led me to food. I would save a fortune. I was actually playing around on my calculator earlier today. Just by changing the way I eat, i.e. going to fast food joints and fucking around with DoorDash deliveries like every fucking day. If I would just change up the way I eat, I would unmask a fortune overnight. So this process might take a while because my paychecks come every 2 weeks. So it's like either now or forever from now, it seems like. But I don't know. I'm just gonna try and see how it goes. I may change things up, stop things altogether, whatever the crap I need to do as the days come. A new day each day. We will see. We'll get there one way or the other. But my current plan is to run this trial where I don't spend shit, not even in food. So like today at work, I just had like 4 half handfuls of trail mix, and my stomach is so relaxed and small right now from not eating that a couple half handfuls of trail mix, I was like full. That would have been nothing. You saw me yesterday devour a double quarter with fries, fucking you name it.
that I can literally get like a giant pizza, eat half of it, take a power nap, eat a quarter of it, and then the next day for breakfast, polish it off. I'm talking a large mofo, or a large one, like for a family party. I can eat that thing in a meal and a half and not even feel ridiculous, which is pretty ridiculous. So I was filling up quick on like a half handful of trail mix. But when that trail mix runs out, I guess I will eat whatever else I have. I was telling my friend today, it's like, I'm pretty much going to never get food or get food from a restaurant or a store until every morsel in my possession is consumed. How far can I go? How much money can I come up with? And as little as possible. Like, I'm fascinated to learn what I'm actually capable of. And on a positive note toward that effort, on the way out of work, I noticed I had a text from the Home 2 Suites in Dublin. $40, and I thought that was a charge at first. But it was actually a deposit back on my debit card. I thought, $40? The only thing that they could have possibly charged me for was leaving that glass in my sink. The one and only dish I used. I didn't scrub it and dry it and put it back on the rack. I left it in the sink. I didn't know that was a problem. What the hell did they charge me $40 for? Certainly I didn't have to pay $40 to clean that glass. Then I realized it was a deposit. So for some reason, I paid an extra $40 in a, what's it called? Deposit. Earnest money down. Not earnest money down, but I was trying to think of what that's called. Yeah, a deposit. I didn't realize a deposit, meaning you can get it back, is the same word as a deposit, meaning money placed into your account that you permanently keep. Tired brain talking. So whatever the fuck I paid for, whatever incidental I covered, it didn't happen, and I got my $40 back. So, woohoo! But for now, friends, I'm going to go home and spend the night under my own roof for the first time in over a month. I was telling my friend at work that I have lived in a hotel or motel for over a month now. And her jaw hit the floor. She's like, no one has ever fucking done that in their life. Even a rock star pops into the house every couple weeks and reconnects with the home and the fam. And that's because most rock stars, when they sell their house, they just go live in their other house for a while. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my apartment. Last but not least, on this update, my realtor texted me. Actually, I texted him on the way into work, and I said, thanks for showing me this listing. I just said, I will look at this soon, thanks, because what I'm referring to is the link he sent me for this listing on that shitty trailer that I told you about. I can't believe that I would have walking money at that low of a mountain. There's still something out there I can buy, but I'm pretty sure you're just buying the trailer and renting the lot, because I highly doubt I'm getting a trailer on my own lot for what little amount of walking cash I would have. But the town is kinda ish nearby work. It's a little bit of a hike, but it's like a cool little village anyways, for a couple reasons, and that would be cool. But I want something. I got to do things different for a minute. I got to get myself into an apartment, and I want to try to do it my way if possible. But anyways, I just told him, thanks for showing me this. And he said, we'll look at it tomorrow. And I said, I'm not available tomorrow. And he goes, well, when are you available? I took some time to answer him back because I wanted to make sure I made this clear, but I was nice about it. I said there's things I need. Eventually I said there's things I need to take care of, but I will let you know. Then he said, I think he said something about my place, and I reiterated I will not be able to list my home at this time or conduct any showings, inspections, walkthroughs of any kind. And he started in again with basically what he was badgering Friday. Oh, come on. You should leave it on the market. Leave it active. You got to leave it active. Which was nice because he's not harping on this old deal that just expired today. He's like gave up on that. So great. But that just means he'll ask the potential buyer for even less on my house than what we were doing anyway. If that makes sense. I think I'm like sleep rambling while driving at this point and losing my train of thought. And he goes, you know, come on, you got to leave it on the market. You should leave it listed. And then he said, you should leave it listed so it gains interest. I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. So it gains interest. What the fuck does that even mean? The only thing gaining interest is I was going to say my mortgage, but I don't even know how that would work. So I don't know what he's talking about, and I don't give a shit. But I said, hey, I am soon going to be in my new home, and then I will most likely be able to list my home again. And so what's going to happen is I'll get my keys, I'll get my apartment. It'll be long before July. I'm stuck with him, so I'm going to tell him, hey, the door's unlocked. Good luck. Get for me what you can out of it. And at this point, I don't even give a fuck if it clears my mortgage or not. That's just kind of how over it I am. So anyways, I do believe now you spent my entire 9-hour shift with me just now in the span of 15 minutes and 12 seconds. Thank you. So yes, not eating anything hot and fresh and filling today was difficult, especially toward the end. And this drive home is very difficult. I so badly want to go to like Taco Bell. I so badly want to go to Sheetz, the 24-hour drive-thru that has all the food that any fast food has all in one place. I so badly want to shut off this camera and eat and hide it from you so you don't know, but it's not going to be worth it. I want to reach this goal as quick as I can. I want to go home and eat a bowl of cereal instead just to get through this. I'm hungry as shit right now, and I'm probably just going to go home and have a bowl of cereal and then throw my blankets on the bed and hopefully go to sleep. That'll be so nice. It's so nice, I think I'll do it twice. And so that is that. It's going to be hard. It's going to be as hard as I make it, and hopefully I'll get used to just not eating. And I literally want to put like 95% of my paychecks on this apartment and let the bills just go way behind, and just to be done with it, because I believe once I'm done with it, I'll be good, basically, is what it comes down to. So that's kind of where my mind's at. So we shall see how that goes. So after I reach this goal and I got my keys and I'm in an apartment with a fully functioning kitchen and I'm back on a budget that allows me to purchase groceries again or go get something to eat again, I'm going to reward myself by doing something that I have been wanting to do for like over a year now. But I don't want to do it in a camp kitchen. I want to do it in a real kitchen with real plumbing so I can wash up when I'm done, the whole deal. I'm going to set up my crock pot and do some sauerkraut and wieners and mashed tatties, baby. That's what I want to do. Oops, I just entered a turn lane by crossing over a solid white line. The exact same thing I got pulled over for just a couple nights ago. Oopsie doodle. I hope I don't get a big ticket this time. Oh wait, I'm pretty sure that's not a moving violation. I'm pretty sure you can figure it out after and turn as long as you don't cut anybody off or whatever. But hey, what do I know? Maybe he was trying to hurry up and get out of there as quick as possible without me knowing his name or badge number, because he's a 100% ethical cop. Who knows? Who knows? It's 3 in the morning. It's 30 degrees. I'm not going to bring in water right now, but I do need to go in and out of the driveway in this cold ass, windy ass shit to get my heaters out of the car, my space heaters, and my blankets for the bed. Oh, I am shivering. I don't even have a coat. I don't know if my proper coat for the winter time is in my car or still in a storage unit. This freaking last few days have sucked ass, dude. Hey, good news. Even though it's 30 degrees outside, it's 41 in my bedroom. That'll be comfortable to fall asleep in. Except it'll suck ass, probably. Of course, my utility extension cord is in the storage unit, like all 5 of them. So I'm doing what I don't normally do, and that's run both space heaters off the same circuit breaker. But tonight we're taking that chance. Yeah. So I could wake up with a broken circuit in a cold as shit room, or everything will be fine. So far so good. I've ran 2 in the office. Yeah, you just never know, I guess. And of course, I don't have a pillow. That's in storage somewhere, which is a phrase you might hear me say a few times over the next few days. But luckily, I have a sheet and a blanket, and I have this blanket as my, hopefully it'll absorb a lot of heat and send the heat right back up to me. And I'm going to cook my sleeping bag in the dryer. It's been a while since we've done that. It's been like well over a month, I guess. Yes, that might look familiar to you, I reckon. This is going to be heaven. I am so hungry. I've not eaten a proper meal at all the entire effing day. Unless you want to count that extra shitty continental breakfast. What else did I have? I was thinking I might have... I don't think I did anything after that. I think I was pretty much already in financial lockdown mode as soon as I woke up from the motel today. If I ate something, I already forget. But anyways, look. I looked in the freezer for some frozen dinners to warm up, knowing already in advance that there wasn't nothing in there, and I don't have a microwave here at the house yet. But I checked anyways. That's how much the hunger is setting in. Well, friends, family, and strangers, I just curled up into, all my back hurts, into a hot oven roasted cooked sleeping bag. There is no light in this room except the light off my pen light, because that gives the room a little bit of light. Because there's no lamp or nothing in here, so this little light I had in my carry-on office drawers that I take into hotels and shit lately, because it's like a little pen light. So actually, the reason I have this in my luggage with my laptop, this little light, is because like I often can't see to plug in like where the USB drive and shit goes. So, and it helps in hotels to figure out where to plug in the HDMI cable when I use my portable Blu-ray. Isn't that exciting? Oh, my back is killing right now. And now we're using it so you can look at my ugly ass face. Lucky bastard. I am going to call it a night. I appreciate you joining me and transitioning with me today back into the house. I will sleep under my own roof for the first time in over a month tonight. And this room is familiar, obviously, and comfortable. It's not weird in the fact that I don't feel comfortable with it, but it is weird in the fact that it's been so long. It's like I'm just taking it in, like, is this really what this room looked like? It's just been so long that the memories started to blur together. But anyways, that's it. Enough of my horse cockery for one night. I want to thank you sincerely for spending your precious, non-renewable time with me today. If you like this video, it'll help me out a lot if you share it with all your dumb buddies, or perhaps you can go back and share one of my videos that does not suck and share that video instead. And, if you want to contact me directly, then you really should do it. DougaloNation@gmail.com. Perhaps you want me on your podcast or whatever, and maybe you want to be right here beside me, camping, glamping in a house with no water and no fucking furnace, dude. But look, today I have literally not spent a dime in an effort to change my situation. I just need to come up with 3 months worth of rent, and I should be good to move into the apartment complex that I've been setting my sights on lately. As you know from watching these episodes lately, I lost my chance to pay for a year up front, which I thought was my only option at the time. I discovered today that this whole time I could have just did the 3 months, which I would have been able to do had I known that I could do that, basically. So, that's only frustrating as shit, but at least I get to take what I've learned and what I've recently discovered and move forward in this little thing called life. Yeah. The reason is the buyer of this property that we're on right now, in this beautiful home that we're in right now, decided that when they made an offer on my home, they were actually lying. They decided that I don't decide what my property is worth, but they do, and that's why they don't have it, and I'm still here. Which is not really a brag. I mean, I'm desperately trying to get the fuck out of here still, so. And I would have taken less had I known I only needed less. I'd have been okay with that. I'd have still made a profit in that case. Meaning still would have had plenty to walk with and get set up the new pad with, but hey, coulda, woulda, fucking shoulda. It wasn't fair, but who's at fault? I don't know. I should have fucking wrote down everything the chick was saying the first day I met her. I thought we had to do a year. Technically we didn't. I don't know if she thought that's what I specifically wanted only. I don't know. I wish she would have said, you can just do 3 months to get started. I'd have been like, huh. And then, when my realtor texts me that they're offering much less, I would have most likely said, go right the fuck ahead. But instead I said, okay, keep the lawnmower for your trouble, and that'll do it. My house needs to be taken off the market, because that price range would have not allowed me to get the apartment, and even changing the documents to a lower price would have blown past my closing date, which had already been pushed back now like 2 weeks at that point. You already know because you've been watching this whole time. But if you're not in the know and you haven't been watching, then shit, all you got to do is go back about 40 days and watch from there. I do believe the first video that started this story is a video titled Mortgage Free Lifestyle Has Begun, or something like that. I think it's right after the video titled "Isn't That Sad?" And then the one after that is like mortgage-free lifestyle already started or already moving out or something like that. And if you're crazy, if you want to waste 40 hours of your life, if you haven't done so already, or maybe you want to do it twice because you're even extra crazy, you can start there and watch them in order of upload date. And the shit's all there. Quite a tale I have lived. And, yeah, you know how it works. What else was I going to tell you? So, tomorrow is the official beginning of a new chapter. Bygones will be left to be bygones. The new agenda now moving forward is kind of what I've already started today, and that is to spend as least amount as possible, to make more, and save as much as humanly possible to get myself the 3 months worth of rent that I'll need to get my keys and move in to my new place. Isn't that exciting? It needs to be, because tonight's a perfect example where I come home into a cold ass fucking house. I have to put a sleeping bag in the dryer just so I can get into bed without shivering as I'm falling asleep. And etc. etc. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. And hopefully I'm saying that in the comfort of my new apartment soon, where I go, you know what, living in that house was so damn hard, and I had to do this and I do that, but hey, that was then, this is now, a new chapter has begun. But yes, a new chapter will begin, and it pretty much already has, and it will begin official tomorrow morning with, we're back at the house, we're doing it to it, and we're only here at the house until I can reach the mark financially, which I don't think is going to be as hard as I'm worried about. What I'm more worried about is hitting that mark right around the time my income stops for an entire month. So these videos, though we may not be able to travel as much yet as I want, these videos may still be very interesting, potentially. I've been told this storyline was, quote-unquote, spellbinding, fascinating, and, quote-unquote, we are hooked. That's about half the viewers. The other half don't give a fuck and just want me to go do cool stuff again, like I was trying to do 40 days ago-ish, 50 days. I don't even know how long. It's been a minute. Okay, but lastly, this is still the first half of the year. And I believe that by the end of the year, long before by the end of the year, I would say in about 3 or 4 more months tops, we will be in an all new place to live, aka my new apartment, and we will be hitting the road, doing our road trips, enjoying a little bit of cash from me selling my house, but a lot of that's going to go toward recouping my expenses in the last few days. But in any event, I firmly believe toward the end of the year, toward the last half of the year, we will be back to the content I'd like to make, and that is having fun, going out, seeing stuff, looking at new shit all the time, like I was doing right up until this crap happened, basically. So, and that's a promise from your Uncle Doug. All right, gotta go. Love you. Appreciate you a lot. And I don't want you to worry, however. I'm only going to be gone until tomorrow morning. That's right. I'll be back with you again at 7 a.m. Eastern, just like I am every single morning, 7 days a week. But hey, in the meantime, don't be a douche. See, we can say it as loud as we want because we're in my house. No one's around, so enjoy it while it lasts, bitch, because I'm about to have neighbors again soon. All right, I gotta go. Don't be a douche. Don't be a douche.